Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and as you can see, we are continuing with our series down the rabbit hole. But real quick, the disclaimers. Everything that we cover throughout the duration of this particular series, you're going to find links to right into the description box. So, if anyone wants to know what my sources for information happen to be, you're going to find all of them right there. Alright? So should you like to do a deep dive, you'll definitely be able to do so. Trigger warning, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity, and some of the topics we cover on this channel can be particularly triggering. So if you have a child that is 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision, very much advised. Alright, first we're going to read the question. Then I'm going to rant. We're going to read Ginny's response. And then there'll probably be another rant. So, let's read the question first. It says, how do you balance the needs of the autistic child with the needs of the other children in the house? How do you manage the frustration or even resentment any parent would feel after pouring out so much love to a child who seems utterly indifferent to it? Let me say what I would tell the parent, and what I used to tell parents in my official capacity as the advocacy specialist for the Missouri Department of Mental Health Division of Developmental Disabilities. They're not indifferent to it. Just because they're communicating things in a way that maybe the neurotypical parent doesn't understand does not mean we are indifferent to the love that you are showing us. It means we're reacting in a way that a parent doesn't approve of and doesn't understand, and so they get angry because we're not responding in the way that they want us to respond to it. They want the general neurotypical response to affection. And they are not willing to meet us halfway. We have to react in the way they want us to react. Let me say that again. We have to act and respond in the way that they want us to respond in order for them to see it as valid. If not, in their heads, we are indifferent. And somehow the thought does not seem to occur to these individuals that perhaps instead of getting frustrated and resenting us, that you would take it upon yourself as a parent to learn our forms of communication instead of just making assumptions and getting mad at us because of incorrect assumptions. You know how they tell you everybody's got a different love language? Well, when I was a kid, I wasn't craving physical affection. Acceptance, yes. So, well then, Tiff, how did you show your parents that you cared? Small acts. For example, my mom and I my stepdad, my brother, we're not big on overtly physical affection. What we are really good at is paying attention to our loved ones' interests. We are great at pulling out details that nobody else notices. I noticed that my brother and my stepdad have become absolutely immersed and obsessed with Viking culture. So instead of being overtly physical, how do I show my love? Well, for Christmas, what I have been doing is been getting them these pewter Viking-inspired mugs that are gorgeous absolutely done. The metalwork alone is insane. And they love them. They deeply love them. And it gets great emotional reactions, to put it lightly, because it shows that I care, because I'm paying attention to the things that matter to them. You see? Or for my mom, because she's been in healthcare for over 40 years, I may find a rare piece of jewelry that kind of reflects her healthcare background, because she deeply cares about it. It shows that I care enough to pay attention to the things that she loves. And I did similar things when I was little. I would buy little gifts. I would do an extra chore. I would do something I wasn't asked to do, like maybe going out back and pulling up weeds. Because that's a thing out here in Missouri, by the way. Most of us, at least within my generation, remember being told to go out there and pull weeds. Doing that without being asked. You know? These are the sort of things you might show that, yes, I am not indifferent to the type of love and affection I'm being shown by my family. How I react to it, how I respond to affection back, is exactly what I just told you. And it is just as a valid of an affectionate response as if I would just like jump all over them and hugging and kissing their cheek and everything. Right? Granted, my family, we're a bunch of misfits. I don't know what to tell you, but they know when I do those acts what it means, without me being overtly physically affectionate. Right? It means we show our affection in different ways. So what I would tell these parents is, learn your child's love language. Don't just push your love language on them. Watch, observe. How do they show affection? Because they do. It may not be in a way that you recognize right away, but they do. And a lot of parents who took this advice were better able to connect with their children than those who didn't. Okay? It's not that hard to figure out. Quit making us having to take all the damn steps. You are a parent. If your child, they're showing things in a way that you don't recognize, it is your responsibility as a parent to learn your child's love language. Because if you do, that relationship will deepen in ways you probably wouldn't anticipate. If my mom can do it, so can you other moms out there. Quit demanding that we show affection in the way that you approve of, and start learning your autistic child's love language. And then you'll begin to understand that we're not indifferent to it at all. We just show affection differently. And that should not be some defense that is, it shouldn't be something drilled out of us. Let us show our authentic autistic affection. And how you can be a part of that, learn your kid's love language. My mom did. Just saying. Granted, there's still those few relatives, but even neurotypicals have to deal with that, so. Now let's read Jenny's response. Said, it's really, really difficult. I remember being on the floor with Ethan sometimes 10 hours a day trying to get him to smile. Eventually my mother said to me, Jenny, everything responds to love. It was what my mother said that allowed me to stay on my knees with my child. But why won't you smile for me? I'm trying to make you happy. Because there's a lot of us that have stone face. I'm one of those individuals. My aunt's like, but I don't see that overt affection in your face. Made me want to carry around a billboard sign, like an Acme sign, and just march all over the house with it. I am autistic. No, just carrying a freaking sign. We're not performative seals. And it should not emotionally devastate you just because you're like, but I want you to smile. What if I don't want to smile, Jenny? What if I've had a piss poor day and I'm pissed off? What if I'm just emotionally run out and exhausted from all the goddamn professionals trying to pigeonhole me into a square hole as a round peg, even willing to chip off and cause physical harm, so I will be forced to fit into a hole that I'm not meant to fit in. Okay? This whole idea, 10 hours a day, and he wouldn't even smile or show me that he knew I was there. Jenny, did you try to learn his love language? Maybe sitting 10 hours on the floor to produce an emotion to make you happy is exhausting. You ever think about that? That maybe it's exhausting for people to try and force their emotions, their responses, onto a complete and utter different human being who may show affection in a different way, that may show emotion in a different way. But love, he'll eventually smile. Quit forcing it, parents. That is my common sense, flawlessly logical argument. Quit trying to force us to express emotions in a way that you understand, and instead get off your high horse neurotypical freaking pedestal and learn how we communicate those emotions. Quit forcing us to be something we're not, just so that you feel validated, you feel loved, you feel celebrated. And you don't care how that affects us. It shows us that your emotions, your wants, your needs are more important than our wants, our needs, how we communicate. 10 hours on the floor. Forcing your kid 10 hours on the floor. Just so you can get the smile you want, so you can feel good about yourself. You want to know? You notice a pattern here? Everything's geared around Jenny, not her son. I wanted him to smile. I wanted him to show affection in a way that I can understand. I want. I need. I. Newsflash, Jenny, when you become a parent, it's no longer about fucking you. And why should the child perform so that you can feel validated and loved, when your job as a parent is to make sure that your child feels validated and loved? Allow me to say that again. Why does a child have to spend 10 hours on the floor with their parents trying to coach a particular emotion out of them? For their validation, their feelings, their needs, what they want. It means what we want, how we show affection, what we need, is not even brought up into consideration. You see why I dislike this woman so much? When you have a kid, it's not about you. It's not about your validation. It's not about your emotion. It's not about your needs. It's about the child. It's called being a parent. It is not my job as a child to validate you. It is not my job as a child to provide you with emotional solace. You want to know why? Because I would be a fucking child. You are leaning on a child as a grown-ass adult woman, trying to get emotional validity out of them. And in doing so, intentional or not, showing us what we want, what we desire, what we feel, doesn't matter. And you have no idea how psychologically damaging that is. Everything responds to love. This is true. But the way that we respond to that love is different for each individual, neurotypical or neurodivergent. Now, am I sitting there saying that it's not okay for you to feel that frustration? No, I'm just saying there is an answer. There is a way to help with that frustration. There is a way to learn so that you can connect deeper with your child without you invalidating their existence. Learn their love language. Learn how they show affection. Learn how they show emotions. Instead of trying to force us to experience those emotions in a way that you recognize to validate you. It's quite simple. It really is. We're going to go ahead and close on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. And please make sure you're still set up for notifications. We're going to be continuing on with this series as well as the series on the snake oil salesman. We don't want you to miss anything. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do. Hope you have a good one. And we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.